Is Winston a bust?
Yeah, Jameis Winston is a bust. I'm going to say it now. I said that the team should move on from him already because look, I know people put up with a lot of nonsense.
Yeah.
And I was not a knee-jerk against Jameis Winston guy. Defended some of his stuff in college. I thought, no, wait a minute. Remember the whole crab legs thing?
Well, yeah.
Defended. I thought he was a good talent, the whole thing. He looked like the kind of football player. Everyone liked the cut of his jib on the field. But the fact is, enough nonsense. If you look at the details of the Uber report and everything, you're like, hold on, Jameis, what's going on with you? What's going on with it? Like recidivist behavior. You keep messing up. Well, does the play on the football field not justify it, but can you live with the off-field stuff as sports fans are wont to do because the play on the field justifies it? Hell no. Fitzpatrick is not a great quarterback, but he just was a competent quarterback who made do with these incredible offensive weapons. And the offense was humming, but Fitzpatrick is inconsistent, we know. So the offense stalled out in a minute, and then after a while, and then Jameis comes in. But what he's shown now, the reason when I was like, oh boy, they should sign Deshaun Jackson, put him with Mike Evans. Oh my God, O.J. Howard, they're going to have this great offense. Maybe I was wrong. Maybe these guys aren't as good as I thought they were when Winston was the quarterback. What Winston has shown now is this is his fourth season in the league. We know what this offense can do when the quarterback is making accurate throws down the field and not making mental errors. We've seen it. He's the number one overall pick. This is his fourth year. He's being yanked from the game based on performance. That's what's known as a bust.
I disagree with you. And the reason why I disagree with you is because I think you're putting all the accountability on his shoulders and not enough accountability on the organization. And I would point to the evidence that has existed. Look at Jeff Fisher coaching Jared Goff and look at Sean McVay coaching Jared Goff. Coaching matters in the National Football League. I'm not trying to absolve Jameis Winston for anything. We've called him out on several occasions on this show for his behavior, et cetera, et cetera. I know how strongly you felt about it. You know how strongly I felt about it because when you read the Uber report, it was just egregious, makes no damn excuse for it whatsoever. But we need to keep a couple of things in mind if we're going to point the finger at him. The organization knew about that. They kept him around. They knew all the stuff that we would later find out. They kept him around. He was their franchise guy. You got rid of Lovie Smith. You bring in Dirk Cutter because Dirk Cutter is supposed to have a special relationship with him, and it was supposed to elevate or expedite the maturation process or whatever the case may be. We saw some improvement. He went from 58% completion of his passes in year one to 60 in year two to 63 last year. What gets derailed this year? He's suspended for the first 3 games. Ryan Fitzpatrick comes up in there, flat out balling with the exception of the bad half against the Pittsburgh Steelers on Monday Night Football. And then what does Dirk Cutter decide to do after one bad half against Chicago? He benches him, puts Jameis Winston up in there, and lo and behold, Jameis Winston is in a situation where you're feeling pressure to step up and produce because you got to measure up to what Ryan Fitzpatrick has done and what level of confidence he's instilled in these guys. I don't absolve Jameis Winston by any stretch of the imagination. I think he should be benched. I think the rest of the year should be Ryan Fitzpatrick right now. But in terms of the future,
Stephen A.,
let's wait till the end of the season.
Let me ask you this before you jump in, because I get that you're not saying he's a bust, but would you give him a mega contract?
Oh, no. Oh, no. But
let me ask you this, because if you're a number one quarterback, right, then you're supposed to be franchise face. So you're saying you don't think he's a franchise guy.
I don't yet, but listen to what I said. We saw Goff with Fisher.
Turning it around.
We see Goff with McVay. And we have constantly heard about the importance of coaching. I am not sold on Dirk Cutter. Okay. I'm not sold on the Tampa Bay organization. To me, I'm like, okay, you want to get rid of him because he ain't going to get a long-term contract with anybody.
I get it. I'm just curious if you would give him a mega contract.
I would not.
Yeah.
Let me ask you a question.
Sure.
What's the number one job of a quarterback? Okay. The number one job of a quarterback.
I'm
going to tell you leadership, but the number one job of the quarterback is to protect the football.
Yes.
A lot of now people will point to leadership, which that's supposed to be one of the intangibles Jameis Winston possesses is the leadership quality.
Right.
Did you know since 2015, Jameis Winston has 70 turnovers?
Yeah.
Yes.
That's second in the league to Blake Bortles.
Yep.
Yes.
But here's a caveat.
It's horrible.
But he's played 529 less snaps than Blake Bortles. So actually, he's the worst in the league at protecting the football.
I agree.
Now, when you look
he
at
was
that,
known for that in college.
Oh, absolutely. And that again, you could point that to what Stephen A was talking about as far as the Bucs organization. Yeah. But I'm assuming coming in, they figured we get the coaching, we can rectify the turnovers. But this is a situation where a zebra doesn't change his stripes. Okay? He's in his 4th year now. He's playing his 4th year. The guy's a turnover machine. He has the same amount of interceptions coming off a 3-game suspension that a rookie, Sam Darnold, has. Mm-hmm. 10 interceptions. 10. I mean, listen, you cannot win. If you look at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers organization, they go out, they got Mike Evans. They go out and they go get Deshaun Jackson. They go
by the way.
Who wants out? But I'm just speaking to what the organization has done to try to help a young quarterback. They go out and draft the O.J. Howard in the first round.
He's got all the weapons.
They drafted a 2nd-round running back. They've done everything imaginable with the Tampa Bay organization, Tampa Bay Buccaneers organization, to try to surround him with elite talent.
But I want to address the coaching.
Okay, and here's the kicker. The kicker is you got Ryan Fitzpatrick comes in and shows you, like, look at the potential of the offense. I think that's the most damning thing about Jameis Winston is the fact that Ryan Fitzpatrick, a journeyman quarterback, can come in and make that Tampa Bay offense look totally different than what Jameis Winston.
I want to address that. I want to stay right there. That's when I started saying, remember, to start this season after watching Fitzpatrick for a couple of games, I said, oh, Jameis Winston really stinks. He's not good. Like, people who thought he was good, and I'm one of them. Sometimes in football, because there aren't a tremendous number of reps, right? A guy gives you a certain feeling. He has a big arm, Heisman, all this stuff. Yeah. So you go, oh, yeah. But, in fact, the results weren't there. And Fitzpatrick pointed that out to me because he's not great, and he's inconsistent, Fitzpatrick. But you see what that offense can be with a competent quarterback. And, Stephen A., that's the evidence I give you for why it's not about coaching. It's not a Jared Goff, Jeff Fisher situation because a competent quarterback can make it work.
I'm not a believer in Dirk Cutter myself.